What's up? I'm Jacob Blitzo, your Elixir mentor, and welcome you to the show. This is where we discuss everything related to Elixir, from interviews with enthusiasts, pioneers in the community, to innovative projects and libraries shaping Elixir's future. So let's get started. Today, I'm excited to have Roman with us. He's working on custom smart home solutions and will share exciting projects he's currently working on. Roman, can you tell us about your background, your experience with Elixir, and what moved you towards like smart home technology and all of that fun stuff?
Mhm. Thank you. Little bit about myself. Uh, I have some experience in programming, not only in Elixir. I have started to work in programming like from 2011. So it's already 13 years right now. So have some experience in this one. Uh, Elixir was not my first language because I believe there was no Elixir at that time. It uh, it came out a little bit later. So yeah, my first um, I have learned about Elixir in about 2016, and I had experience with Ruby at the time, Ruby on Rails, and I was interested in learning the language. And I tried to learn how to work with Vim. At that time, I studied some key binding, some things, read a book, and after it, I need some practice just to master my skills on something. So I bought a book about programming phonics. It was like the version 1.3 and typed every example from it and yeah, tried to debug everything because Phoenix was already the version of 1.4. So I needed to look for resources how to fix something. So it was very fun. So and my journey started in about 2017 with Elixir. So it's about the programming. Regarding the smart home solutions and something like this, one of my specialties is related to like appliances with different things, not only smart home, but yeah, some other stuff too. So I have experience in this. I have programmed controllers, microcontrollers, or something of similar stuff. And yeah, at work, I had some projects. For example, it was smart home with custom appliances. Uh, I think it's indeed to tell more about this one, but yeah. So let's skip about this. Mm, Also, I have created some CNC stuff for myself. It's like it was a hobby project, and at home we had practiced some microcontrollers art with my father. So it was
So
very nice.
hardware and software has kind of been an ongoing hobby throughout your whole life, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
yeah.
love that. What motivated you to start your Elixir smart home platform that you're working on with Elixir versus another programming language?
Okay. Actually, it's I think it's the third take of similar solution. So uh, we had bought some audio system to our office, and we wanted to play like music in it. So everyone's working, and we can play some stuff. So and I created a small bash script that started music and played it throughout our office. And after some time, I thought, uh, why not to rewrite it into some other solution? And at the time, I have already had experience with Elixir. It was about 2018, 2019 or 2018 or 2019. So I tried to implement this thing with LiveView, with Phoenix, and it worked very nice. But the previous architecture had some flaws in it, and it was difficult to support it. It had some yeah, architecture decisions not very nice, and I did not like the player, the music player that I used at the time. So I decided to create more like scalable, more testable architecture and rewrote it into the new version. So the previous version, you can see it on GitHub too, so it's available there, and was not
Now,
updated for some
you were
time.
kind of explaining your project to me, and you were saying you're building it to allow the use of like forgotten technologies and like maybe like Raspberry Pis and things you don't use anymore. How does that work, and how do you integrate like old cameras or old technologies, and what made you want to support older things that are probably a little more difficult to support?
I'm not sure it's like old. They are more like hobby things. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are lots of different things, but they are vendored.
I
Right?
guess one
So,
thing, wait, before we get too deep, can you explain what your Elixir smart home platform is and what you're
okay,
hoping it accomplishes? Yeah.
okay. So I plan to do it, and it should connect. It's like so. My main goal is to allow people be more creative. Yeah? Some developers and yeah, me too. We have some sensors, some unused Raspberry Pis, and other stuff that just gather in the dust. Yeah. I have opened some boxes and grabbed some hardware that I have. It's lying behind of me. For example, it's like Raspberry Pi. It's zero thing, and Arduino. It's not like original one, but I like the colors for it. Some like ESP 8266. So it's small hardware and lots of sensors. It's 37 sensors here.
Oh, nice.
Like this.
I've
And
always tried to
yeah,
get
yeah,
into.
yeah, it's another sensor kit. It's
Oh yeah,
for Arduino.
nice. I've bought
So
my fair share of microcontrollers and things, and I've built a few things, but nothing impressive or anything cool.
yeah,
Some flashing lights and things.
yeah, the same for me. So one thing I built, it was trying to get a like so there is a sensor that use ultrasonic, yeah, and it can measure the distance to some objects. And
Hmm.
we tried to gather the information for this one, and it was like a robot. So I
Nice.
had it was a sensor here, and just moved and tried to scan everything, and then tried to plot everything. But it the results were not very
That's awesome.
nice.
Let me think. It was probably about 8 years ago. So before I became a software developer full time, I spent about 10 years in manufacturing, and I was dealing with PLCs, so programmable logic controllers, and ultrasonic sensors and things. And it was a plastic manufacturer that I worked for. So we would use ultrasonics to measure the size of the film that you blew up for however, the width of the bag that you're creating. So I have a little experience in that stuff, but it was just a lifetime ago.
Yeah, yeah. So the main idea is to use these appliances, use these sensors, not very vendored ones, but just you can buy many things and they are very cheap. Yeah? So and they gather dust and they do nothing.
So do
So
you put embedded Elixir on the microcontrollers and things, or how do you connect and communicate
No,
with
no,
your
no.
platform?
Right now, for example, Raspberry Pi, you can connect some sensor to Raspberry Pi directly, and it does not need to use some extra hardware, extra software for it. It already has some
Okay.
software, everything that it needs. So I had created some CCTV solution for it. So it was like connecting this camera to Raspberry Pi, and I had a situation. Uh, I wanted to create like CCTV solution for our like for nearby of our flat, yeah, for me and for my neighbor. So we wanted to get information what's going on
Little
while we
security
were,
system.
yeah. So something like this, and I created in Elixir and also streamed it a couple of years ago. So it used just very simple motion detection system. So it like tracks the infrared. For example, if person approaches, it can track that someone moves. Yeah. Then it started recording and streaming the video from the camera to whenever you want. You can do it to YouTube. You can do it to some other stuff. Yeah.
That's really
So
cool. And that you
yeah.
wrote that all in Elixir and Phoenix? That
Uh,
piece?
in simple Elixir. Yeah.
Okay,
It
nice.
was like a CLI solution. Yeah.
Okay.
So
No,
we
that's
have
really
some
cool.
streams. Yeah.
Yeah, people need. I'll link your Twitch channel in the description after this as well, because it sounds like a pretty cool project to follow along on. Because you said you live stream like 50 days in a row, a couple hours a day, so people can watch you build this whole project out.
Yeah. I started with Elixir Smart Home or EXS Home, and I switched to CCTV solution because I needed it, and it's already inside that like list. So I have Twitch link and YouTube. So
Oh, perfect. Yeah, send me your YouTube and Twitch links after
yeah,
this.
okay,
We'll get those both
okay.
up because that's awesome. So cool. Did you run into, so as you were building your CCTV, it's a CLI.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you run into any strange issues or problems because it was Elixir, or just
No,
because of the project just streaming video? And
yeah. Streaming video was the most difficult part
I'm
because
sure.
because it was no uh, difficult problems with Elixir. It was quite easy to fix those things. For example, I needed to add some extra applications that measured the uh, amount of free disk size on my machine because video can take lots of space, especially on small SD card. So I needed to rewrite to delete older videos. So it was not a problem. The major problem was like creating a streaming. So
What did
the
you use to do that?
I used FFmpeg for this one. So it
Okay.
just grabbed some stuff from camera, and you can do very many things with FFmpeg and streaming too. So it was difficult to get it right because I believe the version I used did not support some some strange stuff that I needed. So
That's really
and
cool. I'm not familiar with it. You said it's FM. What is it?
FFmpeg, it's like media tool that can convert video, can uh, edit video, can do anything you want. So
Okay.
it's very widespread.
I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds really cool. I love
Okay.
that.
So regarding the my EXS Home, I have it installed on small screen. So it's like, it's a PC, it's Raspberry Pi. You can
Yeah,
see it's like something like this. So it's older version. I did not update it for some time. So it's right now it has player. Yeah.
nice.
It's resistive touch screen, so it's not very responsive. But actually, you can tweak it, you can edit it from any device too. Right now,
That's
it's not so connected to my network, so I could show you more.
you can
But
like do you VPN into it or how does that work? Or like just like a
um,
screen sharing?
yeah, no, right now. It's I have a Raspberry Pi inside,
Yep.
and it's like a screen
Okay,
on
gotcha.
top of it. So actually, I run the web server on it, and I present the UI from it here. It's like a browser and runs LiveView. So it's a responsive thing.
That's
For
awesome.
example,
Very cool.
if I change the volume or something like this on my player, the other devices should see the change too.
Nice.
So it's like a collaborative software. Uh, so
It's kind of like a router of whatever devices you want to communicate.
yeah,
That's really cool. I have a little list of questions I'm trying to see. We already covered so many, which is awesome. Um, what are your future visions for Elixir Smart Home? Like, what is your grand dream? What is it going to do? Is it going to be a full Phoenix LiveView app that can integrate any IoT device?
regarding this one, uh, I don't have so much contributors right now because yeah, no, not much people know about this thing, and yeah, my grand idea for this one to use it like a dog food for myself because I want to automate some stuff inside my home, and it will be very nice because if someone uses their own applications, they find the bugs, they can fix them, and the application will be more stable. I'm sure it will be useful for me in first place. So something like this, and I want to other people to use it like to automate their stuff too. Right now, I'm working on automation part. So it has some UI like Scratch
Okay.
or
Yep.
like Blocky, if you've seen this, but it's purely in LiveView.
Nice. Okay. So are you kind of copying the same concept as Scratch for like what the blocks are, or are you making
Similar one, I think. Yeah, it's not so straight on this one. Yeah. As
Scratch
you
is a lo-
see,
Scratch is a lot of fun. I
it's
actually
it's older version of it, so it just allows you to move some blocks. But right now they're more like Scratch things already. It's older version. I think I did not update it for for a year about on this
yeah, I know
device.
you sent me a screenshot. I could
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
could maybe share that because that was pretty cool. Let me see if I can find that.
So it's more different right now.
Yeah, you have it. It definitely it looks more like a puzzle now.
Yeah, yeah. So spend some time on it and thought about the ways to improve the performance for it. I have already done some tweaks for it. It's mostly live view, so it's computes everything on the backend part,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Has
So
LiveView been working out well for you for that? I feel like that's like a
yeah,
perfect like proof of concept for something like a Scratch style. Um, I don't even know what would you call it, like a kind of like a ladder logic UI, right? Yeah. Yeah, very cool. I like that a lot. Now, is the plan for that, you called it Blocky? No. Do you have a name for it?
It's like SVG canvas right now.
Okay.
So every component from it is SVG. I have drawn it in my so in the program and tried to compute everything. So right now it's covered with tests. It's so covered with tests, so I don't know what else left inside it, because drawing everything is quite difficult task,
Yeah.
because you can have some pixel off and it starts to look not very nice. So
Yeah. Now, is your plan to integrate that into the Elixir Smart Home to create
it's
custom
already,
to create Oh, it is already. Gotcha.
yeah.
That's really cool. So, whatever custom logic you want to do with whatever
Mm.
devices you connect.
Uh, let's I discuss the main idea about this project, how it works.
Mhm.
So actually, uh, I can say it's like a large pub-sub system. So we have a bus, and every part of our application can broadcast some messages into it and can subscribe and get the data. And yeah, right now, for example, I have this screen. For example, let's switch to clock one. So I have a clock component that pushes updates every second,
Okay.
and every part of this application can subscribe to it and do with it whatever it wants. For example, this is LiveView, and it's subscribed to our clock.
Okay,
So every
nice.
time the clock changes, the updates are visible here. The
Okay.
same stuff for a player, for example. If someone starts a music, the other people who subscribe to player state already receive this thing. The same thing is with editor. So if someone edits, uh, moves a block, the other people who connected already receive those updates. So
That's very
and
cool. Are you
it's
using are you using messages and processes or
uh, I believe it's like registry. I'm using no, I use PubSub for
pubs? Okay. Okay.
yeah, I use PubSub very heavily, and
Yeah.
it helps me to make every test parallel. Right now I have all tests like async ones.
Okay. Do you find it difficult to keep track of um, subscribers and everything, like how to write tests for everything if you have all your basically distributed components everywhere, right?
Right now, every test uh, does not know that other tests are there.
Right,
So
exactly,
I
because they're just their own separate
yeah,
process essentially, right?
they use like SQLite, and each process has own in-memory SQLite
Okay.
database, and yeah, they do not interfere
That's
with
awesome.
each other.
That's
And
actually really cool. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that because you're working from a device standpoint, so they can maintain their own environment of everything. Yeah, very cool. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Now, are you looking for contributors? Should we try to send some Elixir contributors your way? Or are you not ready
mm,
for it? Is it not planned out enough?
not sure about this one. I remember how I started to announce this thing. I was like anxious about what I will do if someone will contribute and it will be the code I'm not ready to get or something like this. But after almost 3 years, so not much contribution right now.
Do
So
you have
I don't know.
do you have a feature list or anything that
Mm,
people can go
right
and read and look through?
Right now, I'm working on documenting everything and also refactoring the core architecture. Previously, it was very heavily macro. It used macros very much, and right now I'm um, redoing it a little bit, so it's much easier to grasp less concepts to do. So it's like try to make it more easier. So
Okay.
and plan to do something so other people will be able to write their own stuff right now. So as you see right now, we have 3 applications. So they can be separate ones, and I thought about this. So every person can just write their own application, extend it, and yeah, just declare that okay, we have another application, and it will be started.
That's awesome. That's
So
really
it
cool.
should be easy in this way. So I'm just thinking about the architecture, trying to make everything more like easy to work
Okay.
on. So and if and it should not break if I try to update some macros or something like this. I try to make it more like maintainable from this point of view. And the other stuff about what I like about this project is like module registry thing. I have done it previously with some hacks with protocols in Elixir. So basically, what is module registry? Um, for example, you have lots of modules, yeah, and for me, it's very. I don't know about this, but I don't like when I need to uh, have a list of something because I may forget to update this list or something like this. For example, I have variables. Yeah, here I have variables. One variable will be like volume. So and I don't know how much variables will I have. So that's why I wanted to keep track of every resource that is inside the XS Home. So, and I created a module registry for it. So it's like tagging modules with some stuff. So for example, this module is an application. So if I want to see available applications, I can just query and say, hey, registry, please, can you give me the information about which applications do we have? Yeah.
So
So
yeah, everything that you're connecting to your main hub is its own Elixir application.
something like this. Yeah.
It's like self-contained, has its own
Yeah.
environment, has its own database, state, or whatever you
Uh, I,
want it
th-
to have, I guess.
I think it will depend on the implementators. Right
That
now,
makes
it's
sense.
it's it's like central solution. It has some database. Uh, besides, it doesn't have anything. Uh, uh, sorry. Wanted to tell something. It doesn't use mocks for tests for all distributions. It like stubbing some very small parts.
Okay.
It's like a pops up, global pops up, and yeah, I'm just updating the key, the topic for pops up. So each test has own topic, like prefix for the topics. So they do not interfere with each other, and use the same code as I do in the application itself.
Okay.
So,
That's awesome. That's really cool. Now, if people want to help out, because I think this is a really cool project, how would you prefer them to reach out to you or get involved? Do you prefer Twitter or email or?
I think it's better to reach me on Twitter.
Okay,
So
perfect. So, guys, if you're interested in smart home stuff, because people in my Discord are always looking for cool projects to contribute to because they don't have any good ideas to work on at the moment. And, open source is the way to go. So, here you guys go. You got Roman here with an awesome smart home platform that he's building. And I don't, it's a little over my pay grade, I think, but I'll check it out. It does seem really cool.
I would like to just thank mm, the Elixir community. So I wanted to share this project from yeah, to say that I'm grateful for those ideas. I like Elixir, the Beam ecosystems very much because it gave me so much like experience, so much ideas how to do some stuff, and
Yeah.
it just forces you to think in more scalable ways how to do everything. It's yeah, you can do something that not so scalable, but it's more difficult.
Yeah.
And
Well, I feel like you're really leveraging like the awesome like the distributed portion of Elixir, right? Because everything is its own thing, and then you're communicating through PubSub, which I think is really cool. I think you're leveraging a lot of the power that Elixir gives us right out of the box, right? We have a question from Samir, and it's not really about our topic, but I feel like you're a good person to ask. He asked, "Is learning Phoenix relevant? I am just starting to learn. Should I continue? I came from Python to Django stack." I mean, I think both of us are going to agree that it's probably worth and relevant to learn. I think it's a fun technology. I think it's difficult to find a job with it right now, but I do think it is worth learning and maybe creating your own project from. What is your opinion?
regarding this one, I agree with you that I think learning every language, new language that just opens your eyes, it's very relevant. So
Hmm.
it's I already worked with Django, with Python, with Flask and other stuff with Ruby on Rails. So um, I know that learning a new language gives you so much experience, and Elixir is worth. Uh, so it's very nice experience to have because it forces you to create interesting applications. You can only read the documentation, for example, for Rector, and I got some ideas how to create multi-tenant applications for it. So it was very inspiring. So I
Yeah.
think learning Phoenix is very nice. So
Yeah.
it's like investment.
I
Yeah.
agree. Well, and I think the more languages and technologies you learn, then your toolbox just expands too, because there's not a one size fits all for all projects. And you come from the dev shop agency life like I do, so you're constantly working on new projects, and you know Elixir might not be the perfect fit for everything, but neither is Node.js, right? So I think it's the more the better you can choose your tech stack and deliver to your clients a very successful, scalable project, right?
Or at least you can just remember. For example, as for me, if I need to implement something, I can think about where did I see the same thing. Possibly some libraries. It may be from different language. It may be from just different framework. But for example, I need to create some canvas thing. I may think about it. Where did I see it? And look at the solution, inspire. The solution may inspire me, and I can create the same thing, but in my current stack. So in my current project, and I think it's very nice. For
Yeah.
example, regarding the Phoenix, uh, I have some project a couple years ago. So we created some fintech solution with my team. So and it was in Flask and Python. And I remember that we were working on the authentication system, and I said, "Oh, I remember that there is a generator for Phoenix framework that generates authentication system." So we generated a small project and looked inside it and learned about the pros for each part. So it inspired me.
Yeah,
to
that's nice.
create.
That the authentication generation with Phoenix is so nice. It gets I on my YouTube channel I did an API where we manually created an authentication system. And then in my gist clone, we used Phoenix to generate it. And I should actually do an entire video where I walk through how the authentication works, from Phoenix out of the box versus mine, just to show how easy it is to overlook some like critical aspects in security and authentication, right? So yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and just being able to see the code and process how their ecto schemas are created and the endpoints that they use, all that is very beneficial to just like you said, taking that and moving it into a different tech stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, as I remember, Django does not use. It has own ORM system. It it generates queries for you, but when you work with Ecto, Ecto forces you to use like more SQL like features. So I think it will be more benefit to learn this thing too, because if you know how to use SQL, it will be benefit for you on every SQL related project. Because
Yes, Ecto is very nice, and it saves you with the SQL injection problem as well, which is a nice protection. Because I personally don't know that much about them. I know that they exist and the danger is there. But I believe like when you use Ecto and their change set and everything, it protects you a little bit. From my understanding, I believe.
I think everyone can do SQL injection if they want with
Yeah.
any tech stack, but it's more difficult with default things. So it's better to use the tools that Ecto offers instead of trying to just create own queries without
Yes, exactly.
validation. Just put everything that client sends you inside the query. I mean,
Yeah.
inside the raw binary, inside
Yeah,
the raw string.
exactly. Yeah, I did a live stream and a video for Paraxial IO, and that's a cool platform. I learned a lot from Michael, and he yeah, he, the biggest problem there is SQL injection and dealing with binary data improperly, right? So you have to be very careful with that stuff.
Yeah. Have also watched the video. It was very nice,
Oh yeah.
interesting one. I think also Michael, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he also wrote a blog post about the binary deserialization. So
Yeah, no, he has a lot of great information on his blog for sure. Um, I worry about security a lot, but I'm no wizard, right? So if you want to at least kind of understand it, I would definitely go jump over to his blog and check out what he's doing, because he's doing a lot of cool stuff to save our butts from security threats. Now with your smart home platform, is it a like closed loop network stuff, or is it open to the internet and everything?
I plan to use it only at home.
Okay.
But if you want to access it from the internet, you can just install something like zero tier or some VPN and access it from any point you want to use it. So
Okay.
I have tried zero tier before, and it worked nice. So you
Okay,
can
nice.
install this thing to your Raspberry Pi or whatever you want to install it, and connect your mobile phone to the same network and reach your application remotely. So it's something like this.
Any plans for building a web application to handle everything from like someone's account standpoint, or do you want to keep it separate system kind of thing?
Right now, it's very simple one. It's
Hmm.
simple web application. It's like an interface for the underlying system. So you can do whatever you want within the UI. And I think, yeah, there it's very difficult to predict what it will be in future. But right now, I want to use it to automate some stuff for myself. For example, last month I had water leak from possibly my neighbors, and I wanted to use water meter sensor to just to predict, to understand that yeah, it will not be a problem in the future. So I will get a notification about it, and I was so upset because my application does not support it right now. So
Yeah, water damage is not fun. I don't
no,
know. Do you have basements and things where you live?
no. It's
It was
it's
a
yeah, it's flat from the upper floor.
Okay.
Mhm.
One problem that we have here a lot is we'll have basements and then like a little like sump pump that pumps water out from filling up your basement, you know? And if your sump pump fails, your basement can fill up with water. So water sensors are definitely they can save you a lot of water damage problems.
Yeah, I see. It's very not pleasant thing. Mm. I wanted to discuss some other stuff. About the sensors. Right now, there is a lot of sensors. Why I wanted to create this kind of application? I mean, not use like already some vendor stuff, because there is a lot of things already about it, and I thought I could buy some yeah, vendored solution to watch for memory leaks. It's not very common. I hope I hope it will not be very common in my situation. But for example, I can buy it, but it will cost some money, for example. And from the other point of view, I will need to install some third-party application to my phone, for example, to track that everything is okay. If I want to use some other sensor, I need to possibly install another application for it. And I'm not sure that I will have the full access. I'm not sure what this application does at all. So possibly it gathers some information about my home system, about my network. So I'm not so I do not trust it very much. For example, when I looked for CCTV solutions, uh, they offered some streaming solutions, but they are they used some cloud systems from China, I believe.
Yeah,
And
they always try to tie you into their own service and servers, and then you don't control your own data, which I'm not a
so,
fan of connecting cameras in my home or property if I don't have control of where that video goes, you know?
so that's why I wanted to do some simple solution for this problem for myself too. So it I will have more like mm, I can decide where this data will go, how
Yeah.
to track it, what to do with it, and I like this one.
Do you
And
locally store like all your video currently, or what do you do with it? Or
uh,
is it just kind of like a live stream?
right now, I don't use it at all. I traveled across the country a couple of years ago and did not have the time to install it right now. So it's only in the stream, and
Okay.
yeah, I used the same Raspberry Pi that's right now here.
Okay.
Okay, so
Raspberry
uh,
Pis are pretty cool. I've always wanted to do like the supercomputer server where you hook a bunch of them together, like 5 to 10 of them. And I never have time for the small microcontrollers, but someday I'll build a little microcontroller server.
So regarding this thing, for example, this one is Arduino part.
Mhm.
It's a copy of it, possibly Chinese too, but yeah, I like the colors. It's quite nice. So you can connect it to any PC that supports USB protocol. So you can, and then you can just put any sensor to any socket that supports it, and you can do anything that you want with it. The same thing is for ESP8266 or ESP32.
Okay.
So it's like Wi-Fi connected. Just the same thing. So you can just connect your sensors to any part, to any pin from it, and add some power, like power bank or some battery, and put it anywhere that you want inside your home, and you can use this data in your application. So yeah, and what I want to accomplish with this thing, it's not ready, it's only in plans, because I'm working heavily on the architecture of EXS Home. So the general idea about this is variables. For example, everyone who did some programming with microcontrollers just did some projects like Blinky. So turn this LED on or off or something like this. So we can look at this LED like on variable, like Boolean. So if it's true, it's on. If it's false, it's off, or something like this. So the idea for this, I want to connect the external things, for example, LED, and represent them like booleans in the application. So I will have an automation that can set some boolean variable to true or false. It will not matter whether this variable is tied to the to LED. Possibly it can be tied to player. Okay, the music can be playing, so the variable will be true, or it can be not playing, so playback will be false. So and automation will just toggle this thing. And so yeah, for example, I can create an automation that will toggle LED if the music is playing, and turn it off if the music is not playing. So regarding this one, I have some other types of variables. They're like string, they can be numbers. For example, audio volume right now is integer, so it can have values from 0 to 100, and if I edit a variable which represents the volume updates right now. So so something like this.
Yeah.
And I can connect everything with these things. Okay. So
that's awesome. All right. So I guess we've been talking for a while, so we can like start to wrap things up. If people have any questions for Roman, now's the time to ask. And Amit, I see your question, but I don't really know how to answer it. I'll read it out loud, but he's asking, can we use MLIR to implement the advanced library of Julia into the Beam so that it can be used for AI and quantum computing in the coming future? I don't think I know what either of those libraries are.
I believe Julia is like a programming language, so possibly it's so you can tie any other language to Elixir or to Beam stuff. We have couple of ways to do this. The first thing, you can just create a port, so you can run your code and yeah, get the results. So you can just start the application and pipe some data into your application and get the results and yeah, look at it. The next thing is NIF, native invoked function. So you can parse the arguments from the function. So you can embed your application into this function. So it has some issues, not issues, but some specific stuff what to look about, because it can bring down the whole your Beam virtual machine. So it's better to be careful with it. So yeah, and another thing, you can create like another virtual machine. So if you Elixir and Erlang has a distribution, so they can form a cluster. So actually, you can create some applications that emulates the clustering like logic. I believe there are some implementations in other languages too. For example, in Go, I have seen it. So,
Yeah, I also know, I'm not like super familiar with it, but I know that I understand the concept because Discord will do it, and I know like for like a lot of heavy lifting, like mathematic computation and things, people will mix. So you'll have Rust perform like the high intensity stuff, and then for where you want concurrency and distribution and all of the good stuff that Elixir provides, you have that take the data from like your Rust server or whatever, and then transmit it to your end users. So I know for like probably like AI and quantum computing, you probably want to use something like Rust or C++ or something that is built a little more for the heavy
hardware.
lifting. Yeah. At least that's what I would understand and probably suggest doing if it was a project I was working on.
I think Elixir does very nice thing on the very high level, because it can handle lots of resources. It can like supervise them. So
Right. Well, yeah, you can spin up millions of processes to do things, right? But I think as far as like efficiency and speed goes, if you're
uh,
calculating a lot of like hard things, I don't know though. It's above my pay
regarding
grade.
this one, Beam virtual machine is more suitable for like concurrent operations.
Right, exactly.
It's not very suited for number crunching.
Yes.
Uh, it it can use some integrations. For right now, we have like ML stuff, machine learning, some other stuff inside the Elixir, because it can use integrations with other things. So it's not the Elixir. It uses some more like hard, more closely to hardware things to compute everything. But Elixir works on top of it and routes the data between those parts.
Okay,
So
yep.
Elixir and Erlang is more suitable to coordinate the parts. So every process, like spin, there are some things inside the Erlang called schedulers. So, and those schedulers just uh, give some time for every process and take the, so it gives some time, process does the work, and they give this time to the second process. They like stop it or pause it in whenever part of the processing. So they stop a process and give the time to other process, and because of this, it's not very suitable for crunching numbers. Because if you want to get results faster, it's better not to interrupt the process. But
Right.
schedulers interrupt them. So there are some kind of like duty schedulers that can give you more time to do, but it's like more low level stuff.
Okay. No, that was awesome explanation for sure. Yeah, Roman, it's been fun. You got a lot of cool projects going on, and make sure you guys check out all the links that I have. Some of his info in the description already, but I'm going to add his GitHub projects and all of that good stuff. And thank you so much for joining me today, Roman. And if there's any last little closing statement you want to make before we end this stream, let me know.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you everyone for watching.
I've had so much fun since I started doing these because I get to meet people like you weekly now. So I'm trying to get these things scheduled every week. So it's been a lot of fun. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and give Roman's project some love. Check out his stuff. He's got a great blog. He's pretty active on Twitter as well. And I'll get his YouTube streams and Twitch streams in the description below, and check out that full project because he built it in front of us. So it's awesome. Thank you so much, Roman. And see you guys.